Morning, everyone. Hope you're all okay. It's Friday, so it's assembly day. I know it's been a really successful week. I've been round lots of classes this week, poking my head in various ones, just sort of seeing what's going on. And considering we're only 2 weeks in, I think you are doing the most fabulous job. Teachers, TAs, and children, you're just being brilliant. Bearer and Kilmer. Mrs. Sales and I were in your class for a whole lesson yesterday, and we couldn't have been more pleased with how well you've been doing. So you can give yourselves a big pat on the back. So well done, Bear and Kilmer, because you showed off our school brilliantly to our two candidates. So well done you. That was really good to see. Okay, so where should we get started? I think we should go for, let's start with mathletics, just because it's a bit of a different place to start. So mathletics, still no class for the week because that's going to be done a week behind. But we've got, in terms of maths, Mrs. Sales' Year 4 mathematician is Mason Brown for a super effort and trying hard to answer all his questions. So well done, Mason. And for Mrs. Sales' Year 6 maths, Isabella Gordon for an amazing attitude to learning and great independence. So well done, Isabella. That's really lovely to hear. And for my maths group, I'm going to give it to Poppy Bell, because her presentation is stunning and her productivity is huge as well. So well done, Poppy. You've been such a great addition to our maths group. I'm really enjoying teaching you. So well done. Okay, let's go to what should we do? Year 5. Let's go to Year 5, shall we? Okay, so in Fistral, the awards this week go to Evelyn Lacey for being the first person to earn 100 team points. I couldn't quite believe this when I read it. In 2 weeks and 2 days, 100 team points. Evelyn, awesome. Well done you. And Cody Milross for a fantastic learning attitude. So well done, Cody. That's really lovely to hear. In Senon, we've got Abby Pacey for perseverance in all lessons and Ethan Mulder for brilliant maths knowledge. Good to hear, you guys. Well done. Polzeth, Ava Carson for great listening and top effort. And Maisie Singleton for being kind to others. Maisie, you obviously listened to my assembly about kindness. Well done. And in Trianum, we've got Reggie Ashman for being the standout listener this week. Well done, Reggie. And Bentley Connor for improved behaviour, presentation and effort. What an improvement. Bentley, that's pretty much everything you can improve. So well done you. So, what should we give? Let's give Year 5 a round of applause. Well done. Brilliant, Year 5. Lovely to hear. Okay, now, the other thing we've got this one actually. It's quite a bit of a different one. I haven't had any personal awards, but actually during lockdown we took part in the Cornwall Virtual School Games. Mr. James coordinated it, and I believe we got a bronze, but we also got this really lovely, I think it's called a pennant. It's designed by a child in another school, but it's really lovely, and we'll put that up in around the school somewhere. All right, so well done, Mr. James. Thanks for organising that, and well done everybody that took part. Lovely to hear. Okay, I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to cross things off as I do them so I don't forget anything. Right, we're going to go, let's go learning power of the week. Now, learning power of the week is reflectiveness. So reflectiveness is a really important thing, and we find ourselves being reflective quite a lot because you might be reflective about your learning. You might look at some of your learning and think, oh, how could I improve on that? Or what did I do wrong? Or, and it's not always what did I do wrong, what did I do right? Because actually in some cases, you reflect on what went really well, and then, depending on what went really well, you can say, hey, good stuff, let's do that again. So it isn't just work as well, it's behaviour as well. I've had a couple of incidents on the playground this week where people have made the wrong choice, if I'm honest. They haven't really sort of done the thing they should have done, but it's a learning curve. And people will learn and they will reflect on that and think, no, I shouldn't have done that. And because they reflect on it, they get better next time. So reflectiveness, being reflective about something is a really important skill. It's quite a hard skill because sometimes it's about admitting when you're wrong, which is hard for us, but also when we're admitting when we're really good at something. And actually, that's really hard for us sometimes as well because we don't want to seem big-headed. So be reflective, really look at something and say, how could I improve that? Did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? What could I do different next time? All right, so think about that as well. So we've had 2 of our 4 R's now. We've had relationships and we've had reflectiveness. All right, so keep those learning powers going. Well done, peeps. Good stuff. Okay, let's go Year 4. Year 4, we're going to go FOI first of all. So in FOI, we've got Caden Yeoman for such a positive and improved attitude to learning both in and out of school. I've been hearing the most amazing things about Caden. I know his week has been flawless for a start, but also he's been doing lovely work at home, which actually I can't praise enough. So well done, Caden. Lovely to hear. And Jack Clements for being such a helpful and happy member of FOI class. And I've got to say, whenever I see Jack, he's always smiling. Well done, Jack. Keep it up. In Ottery, we've got Ethan Hawke for having a wonderful attitude to all aspects of his learning, especially with his excellent attitude to smashing his targets in the morning. What a great role model. Ethan, you've got the biggest explanation out of any pupil in school for the awards. What lovely things. Great attitude to learning, great attitude to targets, and a role model. Ethan, how awesome is that? Couldn't be any better, could it? Well done you. And Tegan Johnson for being consistently kind, helpful, and full of joy. She is such a delight to have in Ottery. Keep it up. Well done, Tegan. Lovely to hear. Liner, we got Rosie Bowden for her have a go attitude. Yeah, Rosie, well done you. Awesome listening skills and smashing her times tables. Well done, Rosie. And George Stevens for knowing when to work independently to help his learning. Brilliant absorption, George. Well done, Liner. Well done, George. In Tamar, we've got Leah Lesamore for amazing effort all week, especially impressing in Mrs. Prescott's reading skills lessons. Good to hear. I said it last week as well. When you impress more than one adult, it shows that you're good for everyone. So well done. And Charlie Leslie, a great positive attitude all week, including super sharp mental math skills. Well done, Charlie. Amazing. Now, Miss Tamlin's got a confession to make, and I'm going to reflect on this. I've sat down, I've started my assembly, I've forgotten to bring up the reading ticket bin, the behaviour ticket bin, and the attendance ticket bin. So I was thinking, can I do a thing where I run down the corridor as fast as I can and grab them, and you can just stare into space for 5 minutes? Or, which I think is the better option, I'll do 2 next week. Okay, that's me getting used to things. I forgot that we had to do them. So I've reflected. I've realised what I've done wrong. I'm going to improve it next time. Okay, so 2 tickets out of each next time. So we'll be giving away, do your maths, 6 books next week. All right, so I'll make sure I remember next time. Okay, right, where should we go next? We haven't got a best reading percentage class yet. So team points. Let's go for team points. Now, team points, we've got a weekly total, and I'm quite enjoying this because this particular team, I know for the whole of last year, I used to see children in this team going, oh, we haven't won again. Well, I think they've won again. So in 4th place, we've got Carnarvon with 30. In 3rd, we've got Balmoral with 42. In 2nd, we've got Windsor with 44. And in 1st place, we've got Killarney with 46. So Killarney, you've won again. You were joint winners last week, winners this week, which means that in the half-term total, Killarney have taken the lead by 4 points with 91 points. So well done you. Excellent. Really good to hear. Now, next one. We haven't done any golden tokens. Well, somebody nominated somebody else for a golden token, which we haven't had for a while. So I'm very proud to say that Finn Kelly, who was an absolute stormtrooper yesterday, he fell over, I think cut everywhere he possibly could. He was really brave in reception, but he then nominated, how kind is this? He then nominated George Norries, who helped him when he was hurt. So I'm actually going to give both of these people a gold token. George for being such a kind friend, and Finn for forgetting his injuries and thinking of others by nominating them for a token. So I'm really proud of you. Well done. I'm going to give you a Batman for both of you. Awesome. Well done, you two. Lovely. Really lovely. Okay, so we got no tickets. Silly Miss Hamlin for getting his bins. We've done year 4. We're doing okay. Okay, where should we go? Let's do year 6. So, in Godrevy, we have got Grace Donnelly for enthusiasm about everything we do, superb writing and topic work. Well done, Grace. And Mason Elliott for working hard and sharing his knowledge with the rest of the class. Positive all week. What a lovely comment. And actually, I've got to say, I walked past Mason doing Codex the other day in the corridor, and all I could see with him was him with his hands up. And unless he needed the toilet a lot, which I know he didn't, he was answering questions galore. So well done, Mason. In Lizard, we've got Millie Sinesi for having an outstanding start to Year 6. Well done, Millie. And Charlie Hadland for showing a really positive attitude in all lessons. Well done, Charlie. In Travose, we've got Jack Davis for excellent reasoning and problem-solving skills in maths and always aiming for Golden Challenge. Those reasoning skills and problem-solving skills, Jack, are so important. So if you are doing brilliantly in them already after week 2, you are onto a winner, matey. So well done, Jack. And Elsie May Todd for always being so resilient with her learning. Well done, Elsie May. And then in Pendine, Teddy Gardner for a great learning attitude and effort, and Olivia Howells for responding to feedback and improving her work. And I've got to say, Olivia's been awesome in maths as well. So well done, Olivia. You're obviously impressing everybody you're coming in contact with, so well done. What should we give you? We'll give you a cowboy. Yeehaw! And do you know what I realised? I don't think I gave Year 4 a little special thing. So we're going back to Year 4. We're going to give you my favourite one. Well done, Year 4. Lovely. Great comments. Okay, we've done team points. Now, something we can do this week, which we couldn't do last week, is the best attendance. So for those Year 3 children, we always look at which class has got the best attendance, and we're doing this again a week in advance, a week retrospectively, so last week. So last week's attendance, and last week we've got 100%. So in your class, I want you to do a little mini Mexican wave. Mr. Hamlin all on his own. This is my Mexican wave. I'll show you again because it's so... But you in your class can do a better Mexican wave than that because Trewartha 100%. That means you get 10, count them, 10 minutes extra play. Well done, Trewartha. What a super class in Year 3, wanting to come to school every day. Great to hear. Okay, we've done Year 6. We need to do Year 3 now, don't we? We need to do Year 3 because they've been such superstars this week. Okay, in Kilmer, we got Cameron Meller for an amazing attitude to learning in and out of school, and Lissy Bellum, actually, both for the same reason. So Cameron and Lissy, amazing attitudes for learning in and out of school. And actually, I've seen some of Lissy's home learning, and it is awesome. So well done, Lissy. In Bearer, and I saw both these two people just behaving beautifully and working well, Olivia McRoberts for a super learning attitude, and Buster Bickle for your independence in lessons. So well done, you two. In Tregarrick, we got Jack Fox for superb attitude to learning, and Holly Needham for having a caring attitude to those around you. Well done, that's a lovely comment, Holly. And in Trewartha, we've got Libby Weeks for consistently having an outstanding attitude to all learning, and Miss Hendy says she's been very proud of your efforts in maths and English this week. Great stuff, Libby. And Coco Ford for having a fantastic attitude to all her learning and always trying her best. Great stuff. Well done. Now, shall we give Year 3, what would they like? I reckon they might like, I think we'll give them a firework, shall we? Let's give Year 3 a firework. Poo, 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 poo. Well done, Year 3. Great to hear. I'd forgotten to write firework on my list. I'd forgotten we can celebrate with a firework. I've added it to my list. Good stuff. Right. Okay, now, just before we finish with our thought for the day, I want to talk about the Carr Beale curriculum. We're always going to give a bit of a school message, a message to do with something that we talk about a lot in school. Obviously, last week we talked about our values and our rules. And this week we're going to talk about our curriculum because our curriculum is really important. It's arguably one of the most important things we do in school because it's what you learn. And it's how you learn as well, because depending what our intent for the curriculum is, we want you to just enjoy learning. And that is really important. So you'll see there's a big sign outside the front door that says the Carr Beale curriculum. And we thought about this a little while ago. And we thought that actually we need to try and label our curriculum a little bit and show what we mean by it. So the Carr Beale curriculum stands for a curriculum that is creative, aspirational, rich, balanced, I'm testing myself here, engaging, inclusive, linked, and everlasting. And it's really important that you know that as a school, that's what we're trying to do. So we want it to be creative. So we want it to be a curriculum that is just really out there. We want to do things that are creative, things that might be really different and things that you might not have thought about, but is a great way to learn. We want it to be aspirational. And to be aspirational, it means you're reaching for the stars. You're aiming high. So we want to do things that make you aspire to do something more. it's rich. So if it's rich, it means it's really deep. We deepen learning. If it's balanced, we want you to know that actually all subjects are equal, really. I know we do lots more maths and English, but not everybody will go into maths and English when they're older. Somebody might think, do you know what, I want to be a scientist. I spoke to somebody yesterday. Who was it yesterday? Somebody said, oh, they want to be a scientist. I can't remember who it was. Somebody said, oh, they want to be a scientist, so they've got to work super duper hard. If you do want to be a scientist, tell your teacher. So every time they do science, they'll be like, oh yeah, I must do science because that person wants to be a scientist. I spoke to somebody who wants to work with chemicals. So, you know, if we have this balanced curriculum, it means it isn't just focusing on maths and English. Some of you might want to be a PE teacher, so we have to do lots of PE. It's engaging, and to be engaging, it means it piques your interest. It means you're interested in what we're doing. It's inclusive, and that means that every single child in the school can access our curriculum. It doesn't matter whether you enjoy certain things, because you know some things we do, whether it's our favourite subject or not. It doesn't matter whether you're good at certain things or not so good at certain things. We do them because we want everybody to enjoy, every single child. Where do we get to inclusive? It's linked. Now, this is a big one. Our curriculum is linked from lesson to lesson, topic to topic, within topics rather, and also sometimes from year group to year group as well, because if you've done something in a year group, we might need to link it to something else in a future year group because it makes your learning meaningful. And it's then everlasting. And by being everlasting, it means you remember stuff. Because actually, we kind of think, what's the point of teaching you something in year 3 if you've forgotten it by the time you get to year 4, or year 5, or year 6? So we want you to, when you're an adult in year 3, we want you to remember about the Stone Age. We want you to remember those lovely facts so that your general knowledge, who knows, you might be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire one day, and the £1 million question that you get to is all about the Stone Age, and you'll be able to like, oh yeah, I learned that in year 3. So we want it to be everlasting as well. We want people to remember it. All right, so that's our CARBI or curriculum. So keep thinking about those things. All right. Okay, now my thought for the day is linked to my cultural capital. My cultural capital this week is to do with a gentleman called Andy Warhol. And Andy Warhol is a very famous artist. He did a style of art called pop art. And pop art was, it was a lovely style. And at some point, your teacher might show you a couple of examples. But Andy Warhol was kind of he was the godfather of pop art, if you like. He was somebody who was very famous for pictures about Marilyn Monroe. And how bizarre, Marilyn Monroe, one of the most famous pop stars of all time. Not one really called a pop star back then, famous singer. And he was famous for tins of tomato soup. That's how bizarre that sort of art is. It can be sort of anything, really. And Andy Warhol was very famous, and he had a quote. He said something that, again, remember what cultural capital is: the best of what's been thought and said. So actually, Andy Warhol said, I think everybody should be nice to everybody. I mean, if we live our lives like that, how amazing will our lives be? So your thought for the day is linked to Andy Warhol's quote: I think everybody should be nice to everybody. Okay, so when you're out for golden time, if it's after this, be nice to everybody. And what a lovely golden time everybody will have. Brilliant, everyone. Again, really enjoyed Assembly. I just love listening to these brilliant comments about how well you're all doing. And as I say, as I'm walking around school, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing you doing these wonderful, wonderful things. So keep it up. Have a great weekend. And I will see you bright and early Monday morning. All right, take care. Bye.